All right, with the 40th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Tyler Shough, quarterback, Louisville.
Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, we're getting real weird now.
This is getting out of hand.
The Saints have officially selected Tyler Shough out of Louisville.
Shough is a 7-year senior, all right? 7 years in college is a long time, right? Tyler Shough was out in the same recruiting class as Trevor Lawrence.
So, picture this. A quarterback who's been in college for 7 years and spent half of that time off the field, who's about to be 26 years old and who's gone through injury after injury after injury. A quarterback who no one even batted an eye towards just a couple of months ago and was projected to be drafted in day 3 of the NFL drafts. Just got drafted just outside the first round. But how? How does a quarterback with a resume like this, a resume that leaves a lot to be desired, become the potential next face of a franchise? What exactly is going on here? And how did Tyler Shough get to this point? Well, it's a very crazy and convoluted story, but let's find out. But first, let's start from the very beginning. Tyler Shough's story began in the city of Chandler, located in Arizona. Ever since he was a kid, he loved football, and it was evident that he had a calling for it. However, in January of 2005, when Tyler Shough was just 5 years old, he received some devastating news when his mother had been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and was given 9 months to live. This news turned his world upside down. At such a young age, he saw his mother struggle and fight every single day. Thankfully, she would recover over time, but this act of perseverance by her set an example for Tyler Shough and instilled into him a mentality of being able to overcome any adversity. And believe me, he was going to face a lot of adversity in his career. Tyler Shough started his football career at the highly rated Hamilton High School. The Hamilton Huskies played in the Arizona 6A division, one of the hardest regions and divisions in the entire nation. He took over the starting job in his junior year. In his 2 seasons there, he led the team to a 15-9 record and broke school records for completions, yards, and touchdowns. Tyler Shough was recognized and generally considered by scouts as a 4-star quarterback, and Oregon is where he would be heading to begin his collegiate career.
Herbert's got it. Stiff arm again. Quarterback in the clear. Inside the 10. A hat trick of touchdowns from Justin Herbert.
At Oregon, Justin Herbert was the guy. He was a Ducks superstar quarterback. While Tyler Shough was highly touted, everybody knew that he had to wait his turn. And eventually his opportunity came in the 2020 season, in his 3rd year of college, and in the midst of the pandemic. The pandemic complicated things quite a bit. I mean, the Oregon Ducks did only play 7 games the entire season, but that didn't make these games any less important. Tyler Shough led Oregon towards a 3-game winning streak to begin the season, and even had them ranked at 15th at one point. But Oregon, and specifically Tyler Shough, faced a harsh reality check when they endured 2 consecutive massive upsets against their rivals Oregon State and against California. Shough in these 2 games left a lot to be desired, and his turnovers ended up being costly. Those hopes of making it to the college football playoffs were long gone by now. Doubts about Tyler Shough being Oregon's quarterback started emerging, and many started to shift their sights towards a backup quarterback. And while I wish I could say Shough bounced back, he did not. He was benched in Oregon's bowl game, and due to the uncertainty of his starting position, Tyler Shough entered the transfer portal, ending his 3 years at Oregon abruptly and unfavorably. But the school he would eventually transfer to, Texas Tech, would prove to be even worse than his time at Oregon. Not because it was a bad program or because he played bad, but because he was riddled with some unlucky freak injuries. In week 4 of the 2021 season, his first year at Texas Tech, Shough broke his collarbone, ending his season short. But instead of getting surgery, he opted to let it heal on his own, which as a direct result, led to him re-aggravating that collarbone injury in the first game of the 2022 season, where he was then forced to undergo surgery and was sidelined for 6 games. However, he did come back later in the season, and he led Texas Tech towards winning their final regular season game, and he also won the Texas Bowl against Ole Miss, and was named MVP of that game. But in his 3rd and final year at Texas Tech, after ending the prior season with some resemblance of momentum, he got hip drop tackled in week 4 and broke his fibula, ending his season short yet again. After 6 years of football, Tyler Shough has started a grand total of 20 games. He showed flashes here and there, but he just couldn't put a full season together. The most games he had played in a season was just 7. After the 2023 season with Texas Tech, Tyler Shough still had 1 year left of eligibility, so he put all his eggs into one basket and transferred to the University of Louisville. Louisville was just coming off a 10-4 season where they made it all the way to the ACC championship but fell just short. This team was pretty good, and they were looking for a veteran quarterback that would hopefully lead them back to the championship, and Tyler Shough fit the description. He wasn't the flashy pick by any stretch of the imagination, but he was just enough. Louisville started the season off strong with a 3-game winning streak, but then lost 2 straight against number 16 ranked Notre Dame and against SMU. However, Shough's best performance of the season, and also probably of his entire football career, came against the number 6 ranked Cam Ward-led Miami Hurricanes. This Miami team was good, and they did come out victorious as expected, but Tyler Shough made this game way closer than it honestly should have been.
Play action, Shough to the end zone, touchdown! Shough to the end zone, and touchdown Louisville into coverage. Touchdown Louisville! Shough gets in the ball in space, to the corner, touchdown, put those L's up!
Ultimately, Tyler Shough led the Cardinals to an 8-4 record this season in games he played. He accumulated almost 3,200 passing yards on a 62.7 completion percentage, 23 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. It wasn't the most eye-catching stat line, but it was by far Shough's best season of college football. Shortly after his season at Louisville ended, he declared for the 2025 NFL drafts. The general consensus early in the draft process was that he was a day 3 prospect, and it's not hard to see why. Of course, you had the injury history, albeit they were injuries to the bone, so it's not really a sign of being injury prone. But you also have the age. At 25 years old, he's the oldest prospect in this draft. And he also spent 7 years in college, and he spent half of that time off the field, either because of injuries or being benched. And finally, he only had 1 full season of football to his name, and while it did have some highs, it also has some lows. But you know, it's really weird, because as the draft started getting closer, his draft stock started skyrocketing. No longer was Tyler Shough seen as a 4th or 5th round pick. No, he was now being mocked in the 3rd and even the 2nd round. But there was one team in particular that was fascinated by Tyler Shough. One team who might have almost single-handedly boosted his draft stock. Reports started coming out that New Orleans had their eyes set on drafting Tyler Shough. And yeah, these reports were very much true.
25 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints select Tyler Shough, quarterback, Louisville.
Wow. But how? How did this day 3 projected player go early in the 2nd round? Well, the Saints saw him in a different light. Shough has some incredible traits and qualities. He's 6'5", 220 pounds, runs a 4.683 40 time, he has a cannon for an arm and can literally make any throw on the football field. Short pass, intermediate pass, deep ball, bullet, touch pass, sidearm, he can do it all. Tyler Shough as a person has the intangibles that NFL teams dream of. All the adversity he faced throughout his life, both on and off the field, have made him more resilient and a better leader. Shough knows that he can't take any opportunity for granted, so he's very humble and makes the most out of anything he's given. But now that it's all said and done, let's look a bit into the future. Tyler Shough has a golden opportunity with the Saints. He has an incredible head coach and former quarterback Kellen Moore, who's an incredible resource for him. Also, the Saints took offensive lineman Kelvin Banks Jr. in the 1st round, and honestly, if everyone stays healthy, the Saints O-line will be one of the best next season. And finally, with Derek Carr retiring, he's really only competing with Spencer Rattler for the starting job. And due to Shough being directly selected by Kellen Moore, it's very probable that Tyler Shough will be the starter for New Orleans in the 2025 season. Tyler Shough's story really is a testament to how difficult and uncertain chasing your dreams can be. I'm sure most people, after facing a lot of scrutiny, facing a lot of criticism, and losing their starting job at Oregon, would have succumbed to the pressure of being a quarterback. And for those who continued onward through adversity, breaking their collarbone twice and breaking their fibula back to back, would have been the end of the road for most people, either out of fear of getting injured again, or out of hopelessness, because they were in their 6th year of college and they hadn't accomplished anything. For most, taking the risk in coming back to college football for a 7th year would have been a waste. It would have been pointless. But through all the ups and downs, Tyler Shough has kept his head forward and stayed the course, and he's been rewarded greatly for it. Now, I can't guarantee you that Shough will succeed, While he is considered the most NFL ready, at the end of the day he's still unproven. He's always had the tools to be one of the best, he just hasn't put it all together. With him being put in this favorable situation, I think we'll find out this season what Tyler Shough is really made of.